Is advertising destined to be the business model for artificial intelligence as well? One of the big questions lurking around the Gen AI space is who pays for this stuff? What's the business model? And this is obviously made all the more challenging by the fact that, as opposed to some other categories of software, there are real marginal and incremental costs for each usage of a big foundation model like ChatGPT. Now, of course, this is why we've gotten a Gen AI industry that charges for its software right out of the gate. In fact, I think there's been in some ways a retraining of people to pay for the software that they use, which I think is a generally healthy thing. It's certainly different than ZERP era companies, where everything was basically subsidized by VCs, leading eventually to business model chaos as things moved into public markets, and in general, we moved off of zero interest rates, and the availability of risk capital started to decrease. But none of that answers the question ultimately of how AI is ultimately going to make money. And maybe one of the most natural questions is whether these platforms will have to incorporate advertising alongside their subscription revenue. Some players have already walked down this path. Perplexity 3 weeks ago published a blog post why we're experimenting with advertising. They write, "To fully deliver on our mission to spark the world's curiosity, we need to invest in building not just a beloved product, but a robust and self-sustaining business. That's why starting this week, we will begin experimenting with ads on Perplexity." From there, they get into how they'll draw the lines, what their particular ad product will be. But the point for the purpose of our conversation today is that it's clear that Perplexity does not believe that subscriptions alone can get them where they need to be. But what about the real biggies? Well, in an interview with the Financial Times, OpenAI CFO Sarah Friar said that the company was weighing ads as a revenue model. She said they plan to be, quote, thoughtful about when and where we implement them. Curiously, in a statement after the fact, she walked the comments back slightly, adding, "Our current business is experiencing rapid growth and we see significant opportunities within our existing business. While we're open to exploring other revenue streams in the future, we have no active plans to pursue advertising." And indeed, even in the interview before that statement, Friar had made it seem as though there were more pressing revenue considerations. She said, "I don't preclude ads, but for now there's lots of low-hanging fruit in the way we're doing things." Still, FT sources suggest that the plan is a little more active than Friar might be willing to admit. They claim that OpenAI has recently been hiring advertising talent from big tech rivals including Meta and Google, supported by FT's review of LinkedIn profiles. The company also has Kevin Weil as their chief product officer, bringing his experience building out ad revenue at X and Instagram. Friar said the good news with Kevin Weil at the wheel with product is that he came from Instagram. He knows how introducing ads works. And yet, Sam Altman has been vocally against the idea. During a fireside chat last month at the Harvard Business School, Altman said that ads would be a, quote, last resort. "I'm not saying OpenAI would never consider ads, but I don't like them in general. And I think that ads plus AI is sort of uniquely unsettling to me." The FT reported, however, that Altman is warming up to the idea, according to a person familiar with his thinking. Still, he would have to be really warming up to move off his previously very strong positions. Earlier this year, in an interview, Altman called advertising a, quote, momentary industry. He said, "I kind of hate ads just as an aesthetic choice. I think ads needed to happen on the internet for a bunch of reasons to get it going, but it's a momentary industry. The world is richer now. I like that people pay for ChatGPT and know that the answers they're getting are not influenced by advertisers. I'm sure there's an ad unit that makes sense for LLMs, and I'm sure there's a way to participate in the transaction stream in an unbiased way that is okay to do, but it's also easy to think about the dystopic visions of the future where you ask ChatGPT something and it says, oh, you should think about buying this product. Or you should think about going here for your vacation or whatever. And I don't know, we have a very simple business model and I like it. And I know that I'm not the product. I know I'm paying and that's how the business model works. And when I go use Twitter or Facebook or Google or any other great product, but ad-supported great product, I don't love that. And I think that gets worse, not better, in a world with AI. Still, one of the issues facing OpenAI is that the numbers are really hard. The company is on track to burn $5 billion in cash this year, which is set to escalate as training costs ramp up for the next generation of frontier models. That means the company is locked into achieving record fundraising rounds each year for the foreseeable future. The question is whether the revenue model of charging for subscriptions and API access can grow large enough to address the challenge. An FT source said they are pursuing consumer activity and consumer search. The API is not a high-margin business. Christopher Penn, chief data scientist at TrustInsights.ai, an AI firm for marketers, said, "It's long been known that OpenAI is burning cash at a crazy rate in order to keep up their operations. When you think about it, ChatGPT as a tool is absurdly low price for what it delivers. As they've debuted new models such as the flagship O1 model, it's clear from the cost of tokens in that model that it is a crazy expensive model for them to run. The hardware requirements and the processing power point towards the model being the future of the company, but at a substantially increased price. Advertising allows someone else to pay the bill other than the users. Penn also commented, consumers generally don't have a problem with ads as long as the ads are not deceptive and they're clearly marked. If OpenAI in the ChatGPT interface has a response and there's a big bright yellow "here's an ad block" that clearly denotes where the generated answer and the advertising placed answer are, that would be good. If, on the other hand, the user can't tell the difference between a purely generated answer and an advertising placed answer, that would substantially impact trust because you don't know whether the answer is actually correct or was paid to be correct. In today's media environment where trust is at all-time lows for everything, that could be substantially harmful to their business. Craig Elamalaya, the chief creative officer at Code and Theory, has a different view, stating, if OpenAI does include ads, it's important that they don't feel like ads. They have to improve the experience, not just disinterrupt it. He argues that OpenAI should, quote, consider rethinking ads altogether, blending them into what utility users have come to expect. He urged OpenAI to embrace tools or experiences that serve the user, such as, quote, curated recommendations that feel anticipatory, personal, helpful, and aligned with the prompt. In his view, the magic is in making ads that feel like they belong and are useful and smart. VC Eric Franke writes, of course OpenAI is exploring an ads business. ChatGPT will have 1 billion users soon. API and subscription revenue, currently $4 billion, will tap slow eventually. Cost to build and maintain the model, currently $5 billion, will continually increase. Properly executed ads will be scalable, high margin, and additive to the user experience. David Bressler writes, OpenAI will make more money from ads than anything else. OpenAI hired the person who ran Google Search Ads team, then they added the ability to search the internet, then they added UTM source equals chatgpt.com to all outbound links, allowing sites to see attributed traffic and conversions. In the same way we're heavily dependent on ChatGPT for productivity, there will be a world where we're dependent on ChatGPT for web traffic in the same way companies are currently dependent on paid ads. Others think it's going to be a little bit harder than it seems. Sasha Koletsky writes, ChatGPT's ad platform will not be an easy sell to advertisers. Google Search makes most of its revenue from low-funnel complex services requiring clicks. Insurance, accident lawyer, JFK car rental. Advertisers pay very high CPCs for this. OpenAI's volume is generally upper funnel Q&A, and advertisers will not pay very high CPCs or likely CPMs for this because users are not looking to make purchasing decisions. So in my opinion, advertisers will see OpenAI's platform, for the time being at least, as the low intent of display ads with the low volume of search. Beyond the novelty, without a change in ChatGPT user behavior, this is not super exciting. Others just really don't want this. Parrot writes, OpenAI exploring ads sends shivers down my spine. Personalized ads at its worst. Adam Butler writes, I'm currently in favor of very light touch AI regulation, but if OpenAI embraces an ad model, I'd immediately pivot to advocating for the harshest possible regulations and unsubscribe. Now, I tend to think this is probably an inevitability. It's been clear for some time to me that part of what ChatGPT is competing for is not just this new category of LLMs, but for the place of your gateway to the entire world of information. In that way, they are directly competitive with Google Search. And I think eventually there will be more and more intent that can be inferred from ChatGPT prompts and queries that lead inevitably to the path of ads. The more interesting question to me in the short term is not whether it's a good idea from a business standpoint, but how much in general the business side of these companies is distracting them from their mission to reach AGI. One of the more notable events, I think, of the last year was Ilya Sutskever leaving OpenAI to found the company that he calls Safe Superintelligence, which is willfully unwilling to consider business models before AGI. They wrote, we have started the world's first straight-shot superintelligence lab with one goal and one product, a safe superintelligence. SSI is our mission, our name, and our entire product roadmap because it is our sole focus. Our singular focus means no distraction by management overhead or product cycles, and our business model means safety, security, and progress are all insulated from short-term commercial pressures. And SSI does have resources to bring to this mission. They've raised $1 billion, and so have some capital to burn. But it is a really interesting tension inside these companies around how much they should be focused on their business models versus focused on research and trying to push out the state of the art. I think it'll be fascinating to watch this question as it comes to bear in the next year. For now, though, if you were looking at hints for what's next for OpenAI, there seems to be a lot of buzz on Twitter after Rune tweeted OpenAI is unbelievably back, and another set of OpenAI folks added their own cryptic messages. So will we see something important over the next couple weeks? I will certainly let you know as soon as I know. For now, though, that's going to do it for the AI Daily Brief. Appreciate you listening or watching as always. Until next time, peace.